everyone, it's Dot, and since we're in March, I thought it would be a good idea to go over how our autoimmune challenge for the month of February went. On that front, we had some good news and bad news. Mostly good news for my husband, which was great. For those of you who aren't familiar with what we did or may have forgotten, basically we eliminated a lot of foods from our diet, and the idea was to reduce the amount of inflammation in our diet and also see if we have anything that might be triggering us. My husband, for example, has irritable bowel syndrome, and so we wanted to see if we eliminate these foods, would his symptoms improve or go away. The types of foods we eliminated included nightshade. So that meant no tomatoes, no peppers, no eggplant, no potatoes, and also a whole host of seasonings that I normally use, which are considered nightshades. It also eliminated dairy, no anti-inflammatory medication you could take, limited coffee to an extent. We definitely had different results on it. For my husband, we were able to figure out a food that was actually left in the diet plan that actually triggered his IBS symptoms. He can't have leafy greens without causing massive stomach gurgling and just problems with his intestines. So that means lettuce is out the door, spinach is out the door. They just are massive disruptions to his system, which we had no clue. I'm always making salads in the spring and summer. I'm always trying to get him to eat more greens. So I'm thinking that'll be healthy for him. No, it's not. So he's no longer eating salads, and he's very disappointed in that. The other thing we learned, he still can eat things like cabbage and broccoli and cauliflower because they're in the same family. However, we did have some accidents or slip-ups because there's a whole lot of things you forget you can't have, especially if you're going out to eat or something like that. So we learned that he had no problem with tomatoes. So the nightshade family as it is isn't the problem. However, spicy peppers like jalapenos, amongst others, he definitely cannot have and can't take. And how we figured that one out, we went out and we found a restaurant that actually served grilled wings with no breading on them. I loved the wings, but we forgot to tell them no buffalo sauce, and we went ahead and ate it. And my husband had so many problems following that for the next day or so. But you know, he was still having some cream with his coffee on occasion, and he was perfectly fine with that. So dairy doesn't seem to be a problem. So all in all, we have a pretty good idea, at least right now, of what we definitely shouldn't be serving him. He did get an allergy kit online, so we're going to test him to see what type of food allergies he might have. Besides, we know definitely shellfish, but we want to see if there's anything else out there that we definitely should avoid. Now, I will say he's made a decision for starting in March. He's switching back to the carnivore diet. He had absolutely no problems with, no flare-ups with IBS when he was just eating carnivore. And when I say carnivore, that means meat products. So he's going to have meat, he's going to eat eggs, fish, poultry, and also things like cheese and cream, but he's going to minimize the dairy. So it was really successful for him. For me, on the other hand, the first week went great, no problems. My issue has been, I've been diagnosed recently with arthritis in my hip, so I'm going through physical therapy on that. So there's definitely a lot of pain. So the challenge came in about a week into the diet. And at that point, I did something really, really dumb. And I should have just said, I'm no longer doing the challenge, but I didn't. I was pig-headed about it. I was like, we can do this. I can get through this. And no, I couldn't. And I ended up stopping it after about a week and a half after this incident. And all I did was I lifted a bag of dog food, about 25 pounds, out of the car, hoisted over my left shoulder, as I normally do. And my left hip, which is the problem hip right now that I'm going into that I'm in therapy for, just buckled, and I almost fell. I still carried the dang bag of food into the house, put it down, but I was just in complete massive amounts of pain for the next 2 weeks. It was hard to walk, hard to sit, hard to lay down. Any type of movement I did hurt not just my hip, but also my knee, also my quad muscle as well. So I just really screwed up, and as my therapist told me, a physical therapist told me, don't ever lift anything like that again. At least until they can teach me proper technique to make sure I'm safe. Anyway, part of the diet is no anti-inflammatories, and I had really intense pain, and so that was the first thing of the rules that went out the window for me. The next thing was standing in the kitchen cooking. I could stand for about 3 minutes, and then I had to sit down because I was just in so much pain. We went out a little bit more often than we should, which isn't a good thing. My husband did a very good job. However, I had salad, so I would always have a salad with my protein, so that meant all the things you're not supposed to have on this diet. Like I said, I tried to stick with it, but it was really hard to do that, so I just stopped thinking about it. I just couldn't think about it. Just even going I wasn't even going grocery shopping because I just couldn't manage going throughout the store and getting the foods, and just lifting certain things I couldn't do. So not too great. I would say this, my husband had great results on it. It's not a difficult challenge to do, except when you're in massive amounts of pain. I shouldn't say probably, I definitely will do this challenge once I'm done with my physical therapy, and I at least have possibly another month left of therapy to go. We'll see. For right now, I'm back to keto. I've decided to switch back. I try to stick with it, for the entire month, but in honesty, most of the time I wasn't strict with it. So, and that's not really a good way to determine if it reduces inflammation when I'm working on my hip in physical therapy, which is basically poking and prodding the hip, so I'm going to be inflamed. And with that much pain, I don't think there was any amount of food that was actually going to help me with the pain I was having. And I know, because there were days I just didn't feel like eating because I was hurting that bad. So I wish it had gone better with me. I actually wish I didn't lift that dog food, and then everything would have been perfect. But having said that, I do recommend trying this because, like I said, my husband had great results with it. It really did help him out. I'll link to the video below where we talked about doing the diet and sort of what the rules are, as well as linking to the book by Rob Wolf that has the information on doing an autoimmune challenge or diet. I hope you give it a try, and I hope you learned something from this video. Certainly be careful about what you lift. That's my most important one. And watch those greens, because apparently there's some issues there. Share with your friends. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And until next time, I'll see ya.